16 WAPT News. This is a special report.
We're following breaking news right now. Delta State University confirms they have an active shooter on the campus. Now, Delta State officials say the shooting happened near Job Hall, and at least one person is dead.
Still a very active scene here on the campus of Delta State University. See an officer directing traffic. Lockdown still in effect because, in fact, there is an active search on right now for this man, Shannon Lamb, a Delta State University professor who is accused of shooting and killing a fellow faculty member.
Answering to our breaking news tonight, one dead after a shooting at Delta State University, Tammy.
That's right, Megan. Investigators say someone shot and killed a history professor inside his campus office. 16 WAPT's Ross Adams joins us live from Delta State. Ross, what happened?
So began unfolding about 7 hours ago after a report of shots fired in Job Hall in the center of the Delta State campus. When officers arrived, they found the body of Dr. Ethan Smith, an American history professor. He had been shot at least once in the head, or according to one report. The suspect, the person of interest in Professor Smith's shooting, Shannon Lamb, also a professor on the Delta State campus. He's now on the lam, an active search now on to locate that suspect. After the shooting was reported, the university went in, issued an active shooter alert. The campus went into lockdown. A SWAT team armed with assault rifles went room to room in buildings all over the campus, methodically searching before students and faculty members were allowed to be released about 3 hours later. Here's what a university official had to say about Professor Smith a short time ago.
We lost one of our beloved professors. Today was Dr. Ethan Smith, and we are grieving on this campus for his loss, and our condolences are with his family at this time.
The gentleman was found deceased in his office, who was later identified as Ethan Smith. We do have a person of interest at this time, and we're actively pursuing every lead that we have.
That shooting happened at Job Hall. A highway patrolman spokesperson says that they don't believe the shooter is still on campus. Now, right now, police are looking for a black Dodge Avenger that looks similar to this car you see right there on your screen. It has a Stone County license plate number that says STF015.
We continue to follow breaking news right now. A professor killed on the campus of Delta State University. 16 WAPT Scott Simmons joins us live with some news on the suspect in this investigation. Scott.
Yes, authorities just wrapping up a news conference here at Delta State University naming Shannon Lamb as a suspect in the murder of a professor here on campus. He is a social science professor here at Delta State University. They don't believe he is on campus and are currently searching for him. Gautier police on the Gulf Coast say that Lamb is also a suspect in the murder of a woman there. Gautier, actually, rather Lamb, I should say, is also a former teacher who taught at Murrah High School from 2005 to 2006.
We continue to follow breaking news at 6. One professor is dead, another on the run after a campus shooting at Delta State University.
Yeah, that's right, Ryan. It started this morning with Ethan Schmidt, a history professor, shot and killed in his office. Authorities just named Shannon Lamb a suspect in that shooting. Lamb was a social science professor at Delta State. He is also wanted in connection with the shooting death in Gautier. The Sun-Herald is reporting the victim there is Amy Prentice, a woman believed to be Lamb's girlfriend. We start our coverage in Cleveland with our own Ross Adams live at Delta State. Ross.
Some new developments from a news conference that just wrapped up a short time ago. I can tell you that more than nearly 8 hours after the gunfire first erupted in Jones Hall on Delta State campus, the university is still on lockdown. That's the word from university president, warning anyone who may be tempted to come to the Delta State campus. With all the media presence and all the police presence on campus right now, they're warning people, if they don't have to be here, to stay away. Shannon Lamb, who was initially listed as a person of interest, has now been named the suspect in the shooting death of Professor Ethan Smith. The American history professor found shot to death in his Job Hall office just after 10 o'clock this morning. University president had a word for parents concerned about their children's safety.
We have checked the campus out thoroughly. We believe that our buildings are clear and our students, most importantly, are safe. And we want our parents of our students and their friends and loved ones to know that this campus is safe.
And the good news, if there is any good news to come out of this tragedy, is that no students were injured. Many of them were on lockdown for more than 3 hours. terrified and hungry. No doubt many of them are glad to be in a safer place tonight. I can tell you that night classes have been canceled for Delta State. Also, Tuesday classes. There won't be any classes on the campus Tuesday morning either. And the Bolivar County Sheriff saying they won't rest until Shannon Lamb is behind bars. Live in Cleveland, Ross Adams, 16 WAPT News.
Ross, thank you. As Ross mentioned, students on lockdown for more than 3 hours. You can see this video of students there at Delta State University barricading the doors of their classrooms as that active shooter scene was taking place. So many of them having no idea what was going on outside those doors. Students and faculty simply locked in their classrooms, locked in their dorms all across that campus as the campus lockdown was put into place. And we have some more video of students being escorted out of their buildings. You can see them leaving with their hands up. Many of them left their car keys, left their purses, left their backpacks behind at DSU. They evacuated to the Coliseum as authorities then went through sweeping the campus building by building.
Once federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies were able to clear buildings on campus, students and staff were brought here to Sillars Coliseum on campus and then sent home. Many telling me they did know the victim, and they also know the man now called suspect, Professor Shannon Lamb. Authorities say that he is the person they are looking for. He is a social sciences department professor here at Delta State. In fact, one professor I talked to said he had just completed his dissertation for a doctorate. Now, Gautier police on the coast say that Lamb is a suspect in the murder of a woman earlier today there. Investigators say their suspect fled the scene in an SUV, the same sort of SUV reportedly spotted here on campus. We also found out that Lamb taught at Murrah High School in Jackson from 2005 to 2006 in Jackson. Officials said they did not believe Lamb is in the area. They did address how they believe he was able to get on and off campus without being captured.
The point of where the office was at to where an exit wasn't hard for somebody to go up and leave the building rapidly. We had officers, Delta State had officers, and we had officers on the scene within 2 minutes.
Nice guy. You know, just I hope it wasn't him. You know, shocking.
When you heard his name being mentioned as a suspect,
said it couldn't be him. Couldn't be him.
Again, the suspect in that Delta State shooting, we can't say his name enough, Shannon Lamb, also wanted in Gautier for a shooting that happened there early this morning. The Sun-Herald reporting the victim is Amy Prentice. She is believed to be Lamb's girlfriend. Our own Ann Parker is in Gautier with the latest on that investigation.
This is the home where Gautier police say Lamb murdered a woman this morning before driving off to Delta State. In a news conference earlier this afternoon, police said they believe Lamb was living with that woman. Investigators tell us Lamb was actually the one who called police to say there had been a shooting at this home. Police say Lamb drove away in a green SUV. Delta State police say it matched the one found on campus. Lamb has been a geography professor at Delta State University since 2009. And JPS confirms Lamb was a math teacher at Murrah High School in Jackson from 2005 to 2006. And police in Gautier believe Lamb murdered a woman here at this home before driving off to Delta State. Live in Gautier, Ann Parker, 16 WAPT News.
So many pieces to this story. Ethan Schmidt is originally from Kansas, his hometown of Peabody, mourning his death tonight. Childhood friends reacted with disbelief.
We grew up together. We went to our babysitter together. We celebrated all of our birthdays and Halloweens and everything together. All of us did as a class.
A little about Schmidt's teaching history. He taught history at Kansas University and then at Texas Tech before moving to Mississippi and to Delta State. And the story is making national news tonight.
After a shooting at a college campus, Delta State University on lockdown. Students with their hands over their heads evacuated today after a popular history professor was gunned down in his office.
Those terrifying moments, this deadly shooting at Delta State, as you can see, one of the top stories on ABC World News tonight.
Again, this is what we know. A manhunt continues for the gunman who shot and killed a university professor at Delta State. Authorities say Shannon Lamb shot Ethan Schmidt inside his office in Job Hall. Officials tell us the shooter is not on campus anymore. Stay with 16 WAPT News and WAPT.com for the latest on this campus shooting. Right now, police are looking for a black Dodge Avenger. It looks similar to this car. It has a Stone County license plate. It reads STF 015.
We want to get straight out to our own Ross Adams live on campus tonight. Ross.
Back now here live at Delta State University in Cleveland, I can tell you that there is still a huge police presence on campus. You can see yellow crime scene tape down the distance there near the crime scene. A huge police presence on campus tonight. The university president telling reporters in a news conference a short time earlier that the campus is still on lockdown.
Authorities are on a manhunt for the gunman who shot and killed a university professor. They've identified Shannon Lamb as the suspect. Let's get straight to 16 WAPT's Ross Adams, who is live at Delta State Forest. Ross.
Monday morning classes on the campus of Delta State University interrupted by the sound of gunfire.
Approximately 10:18 a.m., the Delta State.
As you can see, police evacuated students from the Delta State campus this morning. They went door to door, making sure they were all out, then sending many of them to the campus Coliseum to wait. 16 WAPT's Scott Simmons is also live in Cleveland tonight. Scott, what are you hearing from students there?
Still a stunned campus here at Delta State that remains on lockdown tonight. Local, state, and federal authorities still keeping a lookout in case the suspect does reappear. A lot of people still coming to grips not only with the life that was taken here on campus, but also because of the person believed to have pulled the trigger. It took only a few minutes for this small college campus to go into high alert.
It was just have your mind wondering, like, what's going on, because they weren't telling us anything.
It wasn't no good feeling. I knew something bad happened, though, but it wasn't no good feeling being locked down.
We are getting an update right now from authorities on the campus of Delta State University. Want to take you live into that news conference if we can.
Been no, Chief?
At that time, we was not releasing that information.
Chief, several people have said today that Mr. Lamb can...
We do have some breaking news right now. We want to go live to our own Scott Simmons in Cleveland. We believe we have more on a possible sighting of the suspect in the murder of that university professor. Scott.
Yeah, some breaking news to tell you about here at Delta State's campus. Shortly after 10 o'clock, about a dozen police officers, local, state, and federal authorities, I believe, went rushing out towards the Greenville area. My sources say that the suspect, Shannon Lamb, was spotted by a Greenville police officer, that there was a traffic stop, and reportedly during that traffic stop, the suspect, Shannon Lamb, fled the scene on foot. So again, authorities now on the hunt for Shannon Lamb in the Greenville area. He's the person, of course, suspected of killing the woman in Gautier and then the university professor here at Delta State. That's the latest from Cleveland, Mississippi. Now back to you.
From 16 WAPT News, this is a special report.
Breaking news right now, a news conference is just starting about the Delta State shooting. We're getting conflicting reports about whether or not the suspect is dead. Let's take a listen.
Wooded area, there was one gunshot that was heard. The unit stayed put until other officers could get on the scene. Once they got on the scene, they did an immediate perimeter search, area search, and they located the suspect.
The investigation continues there at DSU. However, officers say Shannon Lamb has shot himself in the head near Greenville. They followed him. He got out of the car, ran, and shot himself. School is canceled tomorrow, and the lockdown has been lifted. Lamb was the gunman who police say killed Delta State professor Ethan Schmidt. He was also the suspect in a murder in Gautier, which could be connected. Again, police say Shannon Lamb has died from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. Stay with 16 WAPT News and WAPT.com for the latest developments.